Welcome to Little Pardon Primary Academy's Guide to Phonics for Parents. Through this PowerPoint you will find how we teach phonics within our school and also how you can support your children at home. Phonics is taught throughout our school, but in particular in reception, Year 1, Year 2. Phonics is all about teaching children how to read by breaking down words into separate sounds, or what we call phonemes. They're then taught how to blend these sounds together to read whole words. Children at Little Pardon have at least 30 minutes, if not more, of phonics teaching every single day, and they're encouraged to use the strategies to read and write in their other lessons, including English and all the foundation subjects also. There are 40 different sounds for the children to learn. At Little Pardon, we have decided to follow the letters and sounds scheme. We have followed this for many years. The teachers are very skilled in using letters and sounds scheme, and we find that this scheme works well for our children because we have many children that like to learn practically, and it allows us to do that. And also we can personalise and change the lessons and the approach to the lesson depending on the children we have within the classroom. Each class teacher follows exactly the same sequence of lessons when they are delivering their phonics. We begin by asking the children to say the phoneme in different ways, repeating how we say it. We look at segmenting and blending orally before we even start to look at what it looks like on paper. We then show them the sound, the digraph or the trigraph. We discuss the names of the letters that make up the sound. We show them pictures of the pictures that include the sound that we're looking at that day, and they try to segment and blend the words before they even begin to start reading the words. We then look and see if we can find the digraph that we're concentrating on that day within a mix of others, so they begin to recognise what it looks like. And then we begin to do some flashcard phonics where they have to spot today's sound in a mix of all the other sounds they have already learnt. We then look at putting in buttons and zips and reading words that are real and not real, just concentrating on the one sound that we are doing that day. We then have a go at writing some words, again through the aid of buttons and zips, to support us with the sounding out. We then model an activity for the children to complete, and then the children have a go at it. It might be practicing reading or writing. These activities might be sitting at the table doing something, or it could be outside in our learning environment. We then apply what we have learnt that lesson by reading a short story and also by writing some sentences. Teachers may also follow up with other stories, including these sounds, later on in the day. Letters and sounds is split into 6 phases. The first phase is all about listening to sounds in our environment. You may find that your child already did this at preschool or nursery before they come to us. We do ensure it is covered when they first come. Then straight away in reception we start to look at the phase 2 words. So that they are all taught in this order. Sometimes children are a little bit slower or faster, but we always follow exactly the same order of the lessons, so you can see them here. I'm going to read them out to you so you can hear what they sound like. S, a, t, p, I, n, m, d, g, o, k, 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 e, a, r, h, b, f, f, s. One common mistake that sometimes adults make is they say words like, they say the sounds p for p or m for m. We have to be really careful. We call these pure sounds. It's really important that the children learn the pure sounds and not very heavy sounds. Then they go on to phase 3, and again we learn the sounds in the correct order. Here they are. J, v, w, x, y, z, z, qu, ch, sh, th, ng, a, e, I, o, u, a, o, ow, oi, ear, your, As children finish in reception, they will be finishing on phase 5. These are the final sounds that they will be learning. A, ow, I, e, oi, u, o, f, u, o, e, a, e, I, o, u. You will see that some of them are repeated. For example, the EW is repeated twice, the UE is repeated twice. This is because there is a slight difference in pronunciation between what that sound can make, so we teach them the different ones. Sometimes if you were to read your child's work, it might look a little bit like this. Have a go and see if you can read the sentences that are on the screen. It becomes quite hard for us to read it because we actually know how to read the actual words and how they are spelt. However, with children, they might still be at the stage where they're using their phonics to help them to spell words. So this says, "It is time to go home," said the caterpillar. "But I don't want to go home," said the butterfly. "I want to stay here." You can see that this child has used their phonics to support them with writing words that they don't know how to spell. We teach children how to move from using the phonics to support them to then using tricky words and sound maths to help them to find the correct sounds and tricky words that they need. The children get an awful lot of support at school when it comes to phonics with reading and writing, and you can also do your part at home to help as well. You can encourage your child to sound out when they're reading or writing. This could be out and about in streets, when you're shopping, menus, all sorts of things, and also when they're writing as well. And focus particularly on spotting more unusual sound patterns and maybe the sounds that they have learnt in school that week. Children are taught specific terminology that they learn throughout phonics and they use throughout the school. The first word that I'm going to introduce to you is the word digraph. A digraph is where two letters make up one sound and they are next to each other. You can see some examples here. A vowel digraph contains at least one vowel. Another word the children use within their phonics is trigraph. This is three letters that make up one sound. So you can see we have I and air as examples. They also learn how to use split digraphs. A split digraph, when I was at school, was called a magic E, where the E makes a difference to the word. So in this case, you can see that in make, the E changes the vowel A from the sound A to an A. And that's the same with all the other vowels, A, E, I, O, U. The E on the end of the word makes the vowel in the middle change its name, change the sound from its actual sound to the name. A good way to help you remember the vocabulary that your children use is a grapheme. A grapheme is how it is actually written and represented on a page as a sound. And you can remember grapheme because you look at a graph. When we talk about phonemes, it's the sound that they can hear. And so we say to them, well, actually, you listening on a phone and we're listening for the phoneme. Segmenting is something children do from the very start of their school life. Segmenting is when they split up words and they identify the single sounds within the words. It's not the single letters, it is the single sounds. We also teach children how to blend. Blending is when they can put sounds together to make a word. Again, a really nice way to remember the terminology here. So when we're looking at blending, you take the individual phonemes and put them together to make a word. So if you imagine blending a smoothie, for example, you put in all the individual fruits, but you come out with one smoothie. That's the same with the letters. We have k, a, t, and at the end, when we blend them together, we make cat. Segmenting is breaking down into phonemes. So breaking down, imagine segmenting an orange or segmenting cutting a cake. So instead of the word cat, we segment it down into k, a, t. Lots of the children might know this as robot talk, and we pretend we're robots at school as we are segmenting the words. Here are some words we would like you to have a go at segmenting, so you can see how you can get on your own. Segmenting words means, remember, splitting up into separate sounds, so not the letters but the actual sounds. So I will do one for you. The first word is shelf. Shelf. If you pause the video and have a little go, you could even get your child to help you and show you how to do it. Sometimes when we segment, it's easier if we can segment into separate boxes to show that each sound goes separately into a different box. Here are the answers to the words that I just gave you. You can see how sometimes there are two letters, the digraph, or they're individual letters on their own. And this is how we segment our words at school.
Okay, we are going to look at segmenting and blending. Our sound today is ow. Your turn. Ow. Fantastic. With eyes and ears on me. Sound. Sound. Out and pound. Pound. Out and pound. Pound. Out.
Here is an example of how we use phoneme buttons and robot arms in class. So we put a button underneath each sound. Here you can see some simple ones that reception children might be using. So there are no digraphs at the moment, they have been introduced to. But you can see each time they press a button, they say a sound. S, it, sit. Egg, leg. Op, mop. They also might talk like a robot and use robot arms while they do this. As the children progress through reception and into year 1, they will also be taught to use lines to show that actually there are 2 letters or 3 letters that make up the one sound. So 2 or 3 graphemes that make up one phoneme. We sometimes call these zips, so we have buttons and zips. And you can see here, for example, in the word chill, ch is 2 letters that make the one sound, so it has a zip. I is on its own, and then because it's the 2 letters that make up that sound. Ch, I, chill. F, ort, fort. D, uck, duck. At, that. Ate, wait. You can see that it wouldn't work if we had all buttons, for example in the word wait, if I was to sound it out with individual sound buttons. It doesn't make the word wait. Ate, wait does. We teach children to find and go on a bit of a hunt for the zips that they need. They hunt for the digraphs and then they're able to put the buttons in, and that helps them support actually reading the word. Now have a go at putting some of the sound buttons into these words. Again, do it with your child if you'd like to. If they're in year 1, they certainly could have a really good go at this.
Right, today's sound is ow. Let's see if we can find it. All eyes this way. All eyes this way. Waiting. Well done for remembering that from the beginning. Fantastic. Okay, so we are now going to go on to reading them. We can recognise the ow sound. Let's see if we can read them. So, all together, get ready with my pointy finger. Eyes on the board, just waiting for a couple of people. Super, off we go. Well done. Let's see if we can help him. Are you ready? He's very impressed with you today. Oh, hang on. I heard ow, d. Has it got a d at the end? Let's try that one again. Well done. Fantastic. So if we are successful today with learning the sound, we'll be able to recognise it. We can do that, can't we?
The children in Year 1 just screened each June. The aim is to check and ensure that all children are able to read by the end of Year 2. This is a mid-point check to ensure that they have a clear understanding of the learning they need for Year 2. What will they be expected to do? The check is very similar to the tasks the children already complete during phonics lessons and the homework that is sent home in Year 1. Children will be asked to sound out words and blend them together. So, for example, d, og, dog. The focus is to check to see which sounds the children know, and therefore the children will be asked to read made-up nonsense words as well. We often call them alien words. The test consists of 40 words that the children read with one-to-one with the teacher. A combination of real words and the pseudo-alien words are there. It's divided into two sections. The first section is looking at decoding using phonics with a simple word structure. The second section is a little bit harder and has more complex word structures, including two-syllable words. Here is an example of the alien words, the pseudo words that they would find. They would need to put in their buttons and zips and read the word carefully. You can see the difference between the alien words and the real words here. The alien words, the children are taught also always have that alien next to them so they know. Lots of our children like to learn through the internet and games on the computer. Phonicsplay.co.uk is a fantastic resource. You can log on and play some of them for free, or you can have the membership. The membership is about £10 for the whole year, and all of your children would really learn lots from this website. There are activities on there for tricky words and also for each sound throughout letters and sounds. It does follow the same patterns as our letters and sounds that we follow in school. There are many different games. The children will be aware of them as we do play them within school as well. Another lovely resource is Teach Your Monster to Read. You do have to pay for this if you use it as an app on your telephone or a tablet. However, if you go through the actual internet browser, it is free to join, and it will assess where your children are at, and it will help them to learn the sounds. You can help your child so much at home. Read as much as possible to them. Read with them, read to them, and let them read to you. Listen. It's really key. Encourage your child to speak in full sentences. Flashcards showing them tricky words, showing them sounds, so that they can build up their knowledge at home as well as at home. Play I Spy, Scrabble, those types of words with your child. Doesn't have to be all writing that they do. Also, making sentence with words cards, so it can be a fun activity you do as well. You may wish to challenge your child to find objects that begin with a certain sound. Quite often on Dojo, your teacher will tell you the sounds that they've been looking at that week, so you can concentrate on those sounds, or they might have been given some homework and you'll be able to see the sounds that they are using and include those within your challenges at home. When you're shopping, look for a certain letter in the shop, on packaging, labels, signs. Can they find the letter that makes this sound? Or you could speak as a robot and say, can you find me the k? And they have to blend that word back together and pick up the correct item. It becomes quite fun for them and they do enjoy it. Practicing letter formation at home is also key. Children need to be able to know the sounds but also be able to write them clearly. They need to be able to write their first names and surnames. Again, this is something you can help with. There are lots of online games that you can play together, and I will show you some of those in a little while. Give writing a purpose, so writing little notes in their lunch boxes, creating messages on the fridge, getting them to write shopping lists. Instead of sitting down saying, today I want you to write a story, then actually give them a purpose for why you're wanting them to write at home. Please remember, phonics isn't the only thing needed to become a fluent reader. Please continue to read with your child every night and encourage them to sound out, reread to check it makes sense, use pictures for clues, ask questions about the book. You should all have bookmarks in your reading records that you're able to use to support you with asking questions, and most importantly, enjoy reading. If the children enjoy reading, they are going to make much more progress.